welcome to this full ship walkthrough and tour of the P&O's beautiful ship Ventura. As you can see, we start on deck 17, which is split across two sections, and we'll just give you a brief view of where you can see the rest of the ship from deck 17. Now we head down to deck 16. This is a split deck, and by that I mean there are some stairs down to sort of the next part of deck 16, so it's split over two levels really. And here you have the kids clubs. You also have a retractable roof and a little walkway that you can go around and get some good views for taking photos and also filming things like sail away. As we head down these stairs, this is an area that is constantly used for some games such as shuffleboard and for quoits as well. So it's really great, but sometimes you do have to watch out for having quoits thrown at you. But we were able to avoid this just this time because luckily their target practice was good. As we head around, you get a good view down onto deck 15, which is the Lido deck on the ship, and you see we have the Beachcomber pool, and later on as well we have the Laguna pool. So there are two pools in the centre of the ship, which is really, really nice. There are also some whirlpool spas on either side, and obviously there are places to eat and drink down there, but we'll get to that when we get down. As we get further to the back, there is a bar down here as well, the Breakers Bar, and at the back there is the entrance to the Oasis Spa, the Ivory Suite, the Salon, and such. There's also the Ivory Suite where people get married and have ceremonies, and as I said, the spa, so it has its own pool, whirlpool spas, steam room and sauna. Also, this is the only place really that you can get a good walk around the entire ship, so you can go around to the front and get some really good views about where you're going. One great thing about the retractable roof is as you go inside, look, you can actually have an indoor pool and indoor whirlpools. These were quite busy because even when it was a bit chilly, people could come in here and still have a nice time. The pools weren't necessarily heated, the whirlpools were, but they weren't too hot, so be careful. They're not exactly hot tubs, they're more whirlpools, and they do use that term specifically. Welcome down to deck 15. As I said this before, this is the Lido deck aboard this ship, and this is where a lot of the action happens. Not that type of action, just action in general. So you see here we have one of the pools, and this is a really, really cool pool that we sort of found towards the end. It's outside where the beach house is, and the terrace pool. So this is the terrace pool. It's technically on deck 14, but yeah, it's right at the back of deck 15. Wandering in here, this is the water side. So the water side is the buffet aboard this ship, and part of this section that you see here is actually converted into the beach house in the evenings. So this is where you can have the sort of slightly a la carte menu. It's technically specialty dining, but a lot of it is free, but some of it has a small upcharge. But as we go through the buffet, you'll see that there are many of these stations where you can get free teas and coffees. During the morning, you can get fruit juices and things like that. And it's really, really nice to be able to get your free coffee whenever you want. And it's actually pretty good for machine sort of black coffee. And there's lots of things like milks and things like that. Along here as well, where the actual food is for the buffet, one thing I really was impressed about on Ventura is they had a huge section of the buffet that had things for dietary requirements, such as gluten-free bread. They had dairy-free margarine, cream, oat milk, almond milk, all that sort of thing. So if you had any dietary requirements at all, likely there's something for you without you having to ask. So it was nice to feel that if you had a dietary requirement, you weren't a second-class citizen having to ask for it. It was just there for you. As we head through, there is the pool in this area as well. And this is where a lot of the sun lounges are. When it's in hot weather, the roof will be open and you'll have that glorious sunshine shining down. But this way you can still have a sunbathe, have a little time at the pool without having to worry about rain or cold. So that made it really, really nice and something that you don't see on all ships. On the other side from the water side is the Poolside grill. This is where you get your cheeseburgers, your veggie burgers, things like that. And on the opposite side of the ship, you have the pizza, which was pretty good. And we did often go and steal a slice as we were walking past. As we head past the pool here, we see the Laguna bar. This is a common bar that we would go to just to grab a drink on the way to other places, and it's really conveniently located. Here we see the aforementioned pizza bar, but there's also ice cream. This is Jude's ice cream and it is an upcharge. One thing I found about the P&O ships is it's rare to find free ice cream, so if your kiddos like ice cream or your big kids like ice cream, load up on it at the dining room because you won't get free ice cream anywhere else. A lot of other ships and a lot of other lines will have ice cream machines throughout the ship for you to have free ice cream, but this is not done on P&O. So skipping all the decks that are just featured cabins, we're down to deck 7. This is where lots of the shopping is. As you can see, there's lots around the ship that we can see. So there are multiple different shops and different venues on this deck where you can buy things like watches, you could buy fashion accessories, you could buy technology, lots of cool stuff that you could get here. As we go through, we see the Exchange. I loved the Exchange. This is a really good bar, which is themed around train stations, so it's very railway themed, as you can see with all the pictures of the vintage railways, and you can see the bar looks very, very cool. This was more like a pub and had a jukebox and things like that, so it was quite a cool and unique venue. Towards the back of this deck also the front of this deck even, is the arcade. This is where the video games and things like that are, table football, table tennisy things, lots of cool stuff to play if your kids are into that, or your big kids, and little bits and pieces. And also this area serves as the entrance, of the side entrance to the arena theatre, where your big sort of production shows are held on a nightly basis. Also here on deck 6 is Fortunes. That is the name of the casino on board. It's very well stocked, lots of different tables and things like that. It wasn't very busy while we're here, but we have noticed that the casinos are much bigger and much more used on American cruise lines. British cruise lines aren't as big on their casinos as the Americans. There's also a small bar here in Fortunes, and this was often a waiting point for things like excursions or for heading off the ship, waiting for the gangways to be put out. Here on deck 5 we have the library. This is a great place to check out some books. Also they have like a big map in there that you can look at to see where you're going on the cruise and just to have a little look around. There are also lots of stations around here for things like future cruise booking, for loyalty. There was also an area for you to go and speak to people if you had any issues with the My Holiday app. anything like that. And of course, seating for the bar here. This is the atrium bar, and that is around here. Some shops as well, some more shops. We do like a good shop, and obviously that beautiful lobby with the stairs upwards as well. There's an art gallery, which is quite an interesting one. It's sort of a walk through and around. There's quite a big art gallery. It looks much bigger when you're walking through it than you expect. So it's really interesting. You can see lots of art there from the White Wall Galleries company. And if you want to make a purchase to take home, you can do so. And they'll even wrap it and send it home for you if you need. You feeling thirsty in the mornings? Well, here we have a fully stocked Costa coffee. This is called Tazine, and the great thing about Tazine is if you buy a Costa coffee, you get a free cake with it, and we do love a free cake. I truly hope you enjoyed this view of P&O Ventura. If you did, please like and subscribe. It really does help me get more videos out for you guys. So please do that, and tune in next week where we start exploring the ports.